Hello, my beautiful Cancer friends, those born under the sign of Cancer, and welcome to my gift to you of the 12 days of Christmas. I do apologize for getting this out a day late to you. However, I have been suffering from a cold and I was unable to do any recording yesterday. As you can tell, my voice is still a little bit scratchy, but and I might sniffle at you. I apologize. So, Cancer, I am recording this video in honor of the 12 days of Yule. This is your predictions for 2023. During this video, I will be doing 3 readings for you. The first one will be general in nature, an overview of 2023 for you. The second reading will be your love and relationships reading, and this will include insights for both those of you who are single as well as those of you who are in relationships. And finally, I will be taking a look at your financial, money, work, career area of life for 2023. If you like this video, please share it around and let your friends and family know that I will be producing a video, 1 video per day for 12 days in order to cover each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Let me remind everyone that these are general readings. They are intended for all of the people born under the sign of Cancer. Some of what I say and some of what comes up in the cards will resonate for some of you, but not all of you. Please take that which resonates and leave the rest behind. It wasn't intended for you. Also, I want to remind everyone, here's my disclaimer. I am a psychic. I am a medium. I am not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. So anything in this video that is construed as advice, please keep in mind that you have free will. And so take whatever comes up in this advice, take whatever comes up in this video, however it resonates for you. Some of what comes up may come up as suggestions. You have free will. It is up to you as to whether you take that suggestion and put it into practice in your life, or whether you go, yeah, right, Marnie, forget about it. Okay. All right. For those of you who are unfamiliar with my videos and how I work, I do work with quite a number of tarot decks and oracle card decks. What I found is that when I'm doing readings, pulling cards specifically from one deck and one deck only doesn't tend to give as much of a well-rounded reading as using cards from different decks. So you may see me sit here for a moment or two, close my eyes and concentrate. I have 4 decks pulled out right now. And so I'm determining for the spread that I'm going to be doing, which deck those cards are intended to come out of for you for the reading. Okay. Let's get started. For Cancer, general reading for 2023. The first card that we're going to pull is going to be the You Now. Now, I do leave all of the cards face down on my desk. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those fancy setups with another camera up here so that you can see. I do apologize, but I will show you the cards. But I leave all of the cards upside down so that I can't see them, which means I can't jump around while I'm doing the reading. Now, that's not to say that I won't go back and refer to a card that has already been turned over in the spread. But I have found that doing it this way is better than kind of jumping around. It can get confusing for people. Okay, so for Cancer, You Now, general reading 2023. You Now. Where are you at now, my Cancerians? Okay. You now. Next card that we are going to pull is your focus, your general overall focus for 2023. I'm being called over to this deck. Okay. So I don't know if you can see, there is a card here that's turned sideways. Didn't want to go back into the deck where it belonged. All right. Difficult influences for Cancers for 2023, general overall reading. Where are we going for difficult influences? I do actually have two cards that have come out here for you, so I will read both of the cards. What makes sense? Your next card, Cancer. What makes sense in 2023? This makes sense. General reading. Oh, well, we had more than a few cards jump out there. Let's see. We've got actually 4 cards here. Let's see if we can narrow this down by just shuffling these 4 cards. Okay. Yeah, this card is separated from the rest. It won't go back in. It won't mix with the others. Unexpected insights for you, Cancer. Unexpected insights for 2023. Unexpected insights. Okay, I think it's actually going to be this bottom card. It does not want to join the rest. Okay. And overall outcome for 2023 for Cancers. Let's just set that down, see if that's influencing it here. Cancer. Where are we going for your general overall outcome for 2023? Yeah, we are going back over here to this deck. General overall outcome. There's a couple cards here thinking they want to come out. Okay, we've got 3 cards there. General overall outcome for Cancer. Okay. Oops, I'm trying to suppress a sneeze. Sorry. I don't think you guys would appreciate me sneezing into my microphone. Okay, Cancer. I have these 3 cards here for your general overall outcome. And they just want to all be read. So that's what we'll do. You now, Cancer. Centered, the hurricane. Okay. This card's actually kind of interesting because a lot of people believe that hurricanes are filled with chaos. And we do know that hurricanes cause chaos. They can create a lot of damage. But hurricanes have a very calm center. Okay. And so what the message is on this card for the Cancers out there who are watching this is that you now, right now, you are feeling centered. It may feel like there is a lot of craziness and a lot of intensity going on around you. And you are being asked right now to not allow yourself to get pulled into the outer bands or the outer edges of the hurricane. You are being asked to remain in the center and remain as that calm, cool, collected. Dare I even say that I think that, you know, as people gather for the holidays and so on, I think that some people are even looking to you, Cancer, for that calmness, for that sort of clear mind. You know, some of your family members are looking up to you as they are feeling this hurricane. They're looking at you sitting there going, yeah, I'm just the eye of the storm right now. Okay. Your focus for 2023, trust your talents in changing times. Okay. This card has come up numerous times already with all of the readings that I'm doing at this time of the year. I do want to mention right now that, again, I'm reiterating, this is a general reading for all of the Cancers who are out there. If you would like a specific reading from me where it's directed at your energy, I am running a special right now. It's a 13 card pull. I only run it until January 15th. It's at a special discount. And I will do a reading for you, 13 cards, one card for each month in 2023, as well as, general card or an anchor card, as we like to call it. So in all of the readings that I've been doing, both for the horoscope signs as well as for individuals right now, this card is coming up. This is telling me that 2023 is going to put us into changing times. There's no two ways about it. Changing times, changing politically, changing environmentally. We are going into a changing cycle of the sun, as well as a changing cycle of the earth herself, and her own magnetic fields are beginning to change and shift. All of this is culminating in the 2020s, the next, from 2020 through to 2030, these 10 years being a time of upheaval for all of us. I can't talk. This is what happens when you have a cold. So this is telling me that your focus in 2023 is to trust your talents. Times are changing, but what this card is telling me is that you have the skills necessary to be able to succeed in the changing times. Everything that you've learned and you've experienced in your life has brought you to where you need to be in order to be able to change and adapt. The other thing is that with this card coming up and with us getting the heads up that we're in changing times, forewarned is forearmed. It gives us an opportunity to be able to prepare. Okay. In your difficult influences, you have two cards that have come up. The first one, Voyage of the Heart. Love flows through you and to you. This to me is indicating, Cancer, that you may be experiencing a few hiccups in your relationship area. Now, we are going to look deeper at that in a few minutes. We're going to be getting into your love and relationships reading itself. But this card being in the difficult influences is indicating that relationships may be a little bit bumpy for you this year. Okay. The second card that came up in your difficult influences is the Discovering Truth card. You stand in the light of truth. But given that this card came up in the difficult influences area, this is an indication that you need to pay attention to what's going on around you and whether people are actually being truthful with you. When this comes up in the difficult influences area, it is an indication that there may be some deception happening in and around you that you need to pay attention to in 2023. Moving along to This Makes Sense, Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. This makes sense because in changing times, we do need to take care of our health. This is telling me that as times change, as you're paying attention to see whether you are being deceived or not, and as you're going through a little bit of maybe some bumpy times as far as relationships go, I'm not going to say, you're facing down anything drastic, but this is definitely indicating that there are some bumpy times ahead of you with regards to honesty and with regards to relationships. This is telling me that in order to get through this, and you've also got changing times over here, you do need to be paying attention to your health. That's not to say that you do, in fact, have health concerns coming up. This is more of preventive card. Okay, so you might want to be looking at vitamins, you might want to be looking at changing your diet and ensuring you're getting enough of the right nutrients, all of those types of things. The other thing is that this says be open to healing information. So this is also telling me, Cancer, that you should be paying attention to alternative methods of healing. Okay. I think that there can be a really nice balance between allopathic medicine and natural medicine. Again, disclaimer, I am not a registered medical doctor. So anything I say here, take it with a grain of salt, take it however you will. You have free will. But what I will say is that for many of us, we are awakening to the innate natural ability of our bodies to be able to heal. We are awakening to natural medicines, that Mother Earth has provided for us. And in fact, many of the pharmaceuticals that we use are based on the compounds that are found in nature. So I'm just saying to you, Cancers, this year in 2023, maybe explore some of the different ways of looking after your health. Moving into your unexpected insights. Unexpected insights? Wow, what an amazing card to get in unexpected insights. Your abundance. Okay. Now, this card is not just about financial abundance. This card is about abundance in general, about having friends, having family, having a roof over your head, having enough food in your belly, having warmth in your home in the cold winter nights, having and the ability to be able to cool your home if you live in a hotter climate. All of these things are forms of abundance. And so Cancer, this card is telling me that in 2023, abundance is going to be an unexpected insight. It's an indication that you might not see this coming, but there's some good things coming for you in 2023, Cancer. Okay, now there was 3 cards that came out in your general overall outcome. Okay. Yeah, the one card just is not making sense to me. And this, I guess it does. One of the cards that you have as your general outcome is the burden. Okay. What this is telling me, Cancer, is that you have the opportunity to release a burden this year, or you can choose to carry it around with you. The other card that came up that's right next to this one is the moment-to-moment card. When we live our lives moment to moment, we tend not to carry burdens around with us because we're living in the moment. It doesn't matter what's coming up next. It doesn't matter what's been in the past. We're living in the present moment. So your overall outcome energy is about living moment to moment. The other card that came up is the patience card. And again, this card represents not only patience, it represents the phases of life. You'll also notice that there is a pregnant woman here. So what these 3 cards collectively are telling me is that in 2023, Cancer, you have a choice. You can either choose to live as if your life is a burden, or you can choose to live moment to moment. Keeping in mind that as you are living moment to moment, patience is going to be necessary. When this card in particular comes up, it's an invitation for all of us to pay attention to the cycles in our life, get deeper into the cycles in our life, and recognize that there are certain times of the month and certain times of the year that are more conducive to growth, and certain times of the year that are more conducive to sleep, rest, setting intentions while not actively going after those intentions. Okay. When this card's coming up in the general overall outcome of the year, it's really an indication for my Cancer friends to pay attention to the cycles of the moon. If you're not already familiar with how your own circadian rhythm interacts with the moon, if you are female, how your own hormonal changes happen in line with the cycles of the moon. That is for women who are not taking any pharmaceuticals in order to try and regulate their hormones. But for those of you who are all natural, pay attention to when your monthly cycle comes and where's the cycle of the moon. And you'll find that you are, in fact, influenced by that strange ball up out in the sky. Okay. And again, you know, a woman has different cycles in her life. She has the cycle of being the maiden. She has the cycle of being the goddess. She has the cycle of being the crone, the triple goddess. And so this card really is about paying attention to the cycles and doing things at the right time. For example, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you are ill-advised to be planting seeds outside in your garden on the winter solstice. You are more advised to be planting seeds in your garden at the spring equinox. And so by extension, if you are trying to create something in your life, you should be really, really working towards creating that manifestation between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Okay, work within the balances of nature and the cycles of nature this year, Cancer. Okay, that's it for your general reading for 2023, Cancer. Let's put all these cards back in their respective decks and clear. I do use a small orgonite for the purposes of clearing the cards. I hope that you are enjoying this. We're going to move into your love and relationships for 2023, Cancer. Okay, one last deck. Okay. Where is Cancer now in relation to love and relationships, moving from 2022 into 2023? Oh, not sure if you guys caught that on the camera or not, but there is a card that has jumped right out. Let's look at your focus for 2023 with regard specifically to love and relationships, Cancer. Focus. Called over here. What is Cancer's focus in 2023 with regards to love and relationships? Okay. I don't know if you can see there's a card there. Doesn't want to play nice anymore. Wants to just tent up. Okay. Difficult influences for Cancer for 2023, love and relationships. Nope, that's not quite right. Trying to hold these up a little higher than I normally do so you can see the mixing. Okay. What makes sense in 2023 for Cancer, specifically related to love and relationships? What makes sense? Nope, not quite right. Okay, what makes sense for the Cancers, love and relationships? Sorry, I do kind of go into a little bit of a trance when I'm doing these readings. Okay, you'll see that there's a card there sticking out. Okay. Now, as I mentioned before, this is a general reading for all Cancers with regards to love and relationships. If you are using the timestamps to jump around, I just want to reiterate that if you are interested in having a personal reading for the year of 2023, I do have a special that I'm currently running, and I will put a link in the description for you. Where are we going next? Unexpected insights. Unexpected insights. Unexpected insights. Which one? I'm getting called to this side, but unexpected insights, love and relationships. I have to pull 2 cards here. We'll see. Unexpected insights. Okay. I don't know if you can see there's a card there that's decided that it wants to stick out. All right. What is the general overall outcome for Cancer, love and relationships? General overall outcome. Okay. You now in love and relationships. Wow, you got this card again, the moment to moment card. This card came up in your general reading as your overall outcome for 2023. And now it's come up again with where you are at now. The other card that you had that came up in the new you now position was the Hurricane. And the Hurricane was about living in the eye of the storm, which is also being in the present moment. This is telling me, Cancer, that you have the ability to really, really live in the present moment. And that's beautiful. Now, with regards to your relationship specifically, if you are currently single, what this is telling me is that you need to be living in the present moment, not planning too far ahead, not projecting is a word that's coming up for the single Cancers out there. You know, when we are single and we're looking, you know, kind of projecting out there, okay, I'm putting myself out there, I'm ready to date again. We can sometimes have the inclination to project. I want this, I want that, rather than allowing things to come to us naturally. And so where you are at right now, Cancer, is that you're not actually doing that, which is beautiful. Also, for those who are in relationships, this is an indication that you're just happily going along, that things are really comfortable for you right now. Your focus, your focus for relationships, Cancer, for 2023 is the oak tree, and that's representative of the ancestors. What this card is telling me for love and relationships for you, Cancer, is that it's time for you to get back to basics. Get back to some traditions. First of all, let's address the single Cancers. For those of you who are single, I think that this card, I really do. I believe that this card is indicating that looking to the ancestors and the way that our ancestors used to date and used to get involved in relationships, the more traditional way of doing things might be a way for you to do it. You know, if you're, for the single Cancers out there, if you're looking at putting yourself back out there and getting back out there dating, this is telling me get in touch with your ancestors in the more traditional way of dating, as opposed to maybe for the Cancers in the group, internet dating isn't really going to work out well for you. That's kind of what I'm picking up, but I was trying to avoid saying it. Again, disclaimer, do what you will. You have free will. It's your decision. But this card is a card that harkens back or calls us back to the ancestral way of doing things, the old-fashioned way of doing things, listening to our ancestors and what they have to say. For those of you who are in a relationship, this card is telling me that your focus this year should be, again, getting back to basics, getting back to a more traditional way of doing things in your relationship, as opposed to, up until this point, the other zodiac signs that I have read for so far this year, their focuses have been about kind of modernizing and putting some excitement into the relationships. And yet this card for the Cancers is telling me this is about going back to basics, getting back to traditions. And that's kind of your focus this year. Let's move into difficult influences. Oh, this card has come up in every single reading in various different positions in the spreads, but it has come up in every single reading. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. Cancer, this is in your difficult influences in love and relationships. And what this is telling me is that you are overcomplicating your love life. And it doesn't matter whether you are single or whether you are in a relationship. You need to simplify your love life. Okay. For again, remember what I said with this one? You know, live in the moment to moment. Don't be trying to jump ahead and project. If you're constantly trying to jump ahead and project about what your perfect partner, this is for the singles. If you're constantly trying to jump ahead and project what your perfect partner is going to be like and what your perfect date is going to be like and what the outcome is going to be like and what the wedding is going to look like and so on and so forth. If you're living in the future like that, you are complicating things. You need to let go of those preconceived notions and those expectations. Because if you're carrying those around, that is a difficult influence. It's not going to balance out well for you in 2023. You need to simplify. Live in the present moment. Go back to traditions. Okay. For those of you who are in relationships, I think that there are certain aspects of your relationship that have become overly complicated. And again, what's coming up for me is expectations, Cancer. I am really, really picking up that a lot of you are living in projections. A lot of you are living in the future. You're putting stuff out there that hasn't happened yet. And I'm picking this up. I'm almost getting to the point where I'm feeling anxious, which again is an indication of living in the future. So simplify your love life. For those of you who are in relationships, If you've gotten to the point where you've structured everything in order to try and get the romance back in your relationship, where you've done, okay, on this particular date, we're going to go on a date. And this day of the week, we're going to make love. And this day of the week, we're going to play with the children in the park. And this day of the week, we're going to have a special dinner. If you have your life that structured, Cancer, it's putting a lot of pressure on your relationships. Okay? Simplify, simplify. Okay? Let's move into this makes sense. Transform and unveil your gifts. Oh, for the single Cancers out there, this is beautiful. It's beautiful for those of you in relationships as well. But let me start first with Cancers who are single. The shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. This is an indication that for a lot of you, you have some here it comes again. I don't know why this word keeps coming up. You have some preconceived notions about what you should be like in a relationship. And some of those preconceived notions are not resonating with you. They don't feel good. And yet society kind of deemed, oh, you should be like this. You should dress a certain way when you go out on a date. You should act a certain way when you go out on a date. When you go on a date, it should be a certain way. Now, this card is telling me that you want to kind of get back to basics, get back to traditions. But this card is telling me that you've had some influences in your life telling you to do things that are outside of your comfort zone, that are actually quashing your gifts. So let me give you an example as a psychic. I am told that if I go out on a blind date with someone, I probably shouldn't start reading their future. It's kind of frowned upon, okay? And yet, that happens to be an innate part of who I am. I can't just turn off being psychic. So for those of you who are single out there, this is saying, let your gifts out. Transform yourself into who you really are, not who society has told you you should be. Now, this goes for the Cancers who are in relationships as well. If you are in a relationship and your partner has ever done, well, I didn't approve of that, you might be in a position where you're wearing a mask now with your partner. This card is encouraging you to drop your masks and show your gifts. Now, there may be consequences to that. In fact, I'm sensing that for some of you, there may very well be some drastic consequences to that. Again, disclaimer, do with this what you will. All I'm doing is reading what's on the card. And what's on the card is that you are being asked to transform yourself and allow your gifts out. And this card, when it says gift, is referring to who you are on the inside. Like I said, I'm a psychic. And I've been told my whole life, don't go out on a blind date and read your date. Yeah. I mean, I don't purposely do that, but if there's something that I kind of feel like they need the heads up about, I might actually blurt that out. Okay. It's up to you, both single and in relationship Cancers. It's up to you whether you choose to continue to wear a mask this year in 2023 when it comes to love and relationships, or whether you choose to unveil your gifts. Let's move into unexpected insights. Ooh, wise leader. You are a beacon for others. Okay. Yes. When you simplify your love life, when you drop the masks and let people know who you truly are in your love and your relationships, you do actually become a beacon to others. You become an inspiration to others. You become a wise leader. This goes for both those in a relationship as well as those singles. Here's the thing. If you choose to stay single as well, if that is your preference, then you are also a wise leader and you are a beacon to others. In 2023, Cancers, remember that there are others looking up to you, looking at you. They're looking to you for advice and for guidance when it comes to love and relationships. Friends, family, children. So make sure that you're setting a good example. Right. Outcome. The outcome is the wise old owl for the Cancers with regards to their love and relationships. This card speaks specifically to your intuition. What this card is telling me, Cancers, is that with this card and this card, being a wise leader, setting an example, this card is telling me that in order for you to fulfill all of this, in order for you to get back to basics, look at traditions a little bit more, in order for you to simplify your life, simplify your relationships, in order for you to drop those masks that you've been wearing, you need to get in touch with your intuition. Really listen to your intuition this year, Cancer. If you are in a relationship, what is your intuition telling you about your relationship? If you are single and currently on the dating scene, this card is super, super important. I can't stress that enough for the single Cancers. If you're dating, be listening to your intuition. If you have an inkling that something's not right, if all of the words that are coming out of your date's mouth sound perfect, but your stomach is churning, that's your intuition trying to tell you something. Pay attention. Even those of you who are in relationships this year, pay attention to your intuition. If there's something niggling at you, then talk about change. Talk about going back to the basics. Talk about simplifying. If you're finding things are too structured, simplify. Okay? I'm going to leave that off there. For the Cancers, I do think that you do have a positive year coming for your love and relationships, but you are being called upon to get back in touch with your own traditions and beliefs, get in touch with your intuition, and simplify your relationships. All right, let's move into money, job, career for Cancer for 2023. We are going into you now. Where are the Cancers in the group with regards to money, job, relationships, and career? Money, job, relationships, and career for Cancer. Okay. I don't know if those of you can see this, but there is a card that's sticking out here. It is poking me. I'm just going to move this off. Okay. You can see that that card's tinted up as soon as I remove the other cards. That is your you now, Cancer, with regards to love. Oh, sorry, with regards to money. Sorry, the cold is catching up to me. I apologize. I'm doing my best here. Where should Cancers be focused for money, career? Okay, we have two cards that have come right out. There we go. Difficult influences for Cancer for 2023, specifically money, job. Okay, is that going to be your card? That's one of them. Do we need another card to clarify this card? Maybe. When I read that card, I'm going to pull another card to go with that card for you, Cancer. What makes sense this year with regards to money, job, career? What makes sense? Okay. All right. That one? Yeah. Okay. Unexpected insights. What are we going for? Unexpected insights. Oh, we do have a card that has decided to jump out. Overall outcome for money, job, career. Yeah. Over here. Okay, we do have that strange card hooking me. There we go. See? You now, money, job, career, mind. Okay. Again, for all of the zodiac signs that I have read for thus far to this point in the Yule celebration, this card has come out at some point in time in the readings. This is an indication that way too many of us are caught up here in our minds. We've got gears and cogs and all this stuff running to the point that we are getting overloaded. We've got smoke, you know, the old cartoon characters where you can see the gears running in their mind and all of a sudden there's smoke coming out of the top of their head, smoke coming out of their ears. This is where you're at right now, Cancer, which is an indication to me that for money, job, work, and career, you are way too caught up in this. You're not using your intuition. You're not using your other gifts. You're too caught up in the thinking of the what ifs. Oh my God, what if this happens? Oh my God, what if that happens? That's where you're at right now in December of 2022 with regards to money, job, and money, job, and career. Why do I keep saying relationships? I don't know. Okay. Hopefully the other cards don't relate back to this for 2023 because this is an uncomfortable place to be at, being all caught up in the mind. For your focus for 2023. Ooh. Stargazer, set your sights higher, and Protection Guardian, drop your shield. Both of these cards have similar meanings. They're actually quite beautiful cards. I like these ones. Okay. The Stargazer card, let's start with that one. Set your sights higher. You know, Cancerian friends, if you are caught up in your mind, it's probably because you're doubting your abilities. You are, what's coming up for me is that you have some imposter syndrome stuff coming up. Okay. This card coming up as your focus in 2023 is that you need to set your sights higher. You need to believe in yourself. You need to really, really know in your heart that you have the capacity to go further than you think you can. Okay. And for the protection guardian coming up, drop your shields. I think that the reason that you're here, you're doubting yourself because of something that's happened in the past. You have put shields up in order to protect yourself. This is telling you that it's okay to let some of those shields down. I mean, obviously, we don't want to drop our guard 100% when we're in the career or workplace, but these two cards together are telling me that in order for you to set your sights higher, there are certain things that you're going to have to drop, certain shields you're going to have to drop, certain expectations about yourself. You're going to have to put yourself out there is what's coming up for me. There are some of you out there who would be very uncomfortable doing something like what I'm doing right now, getting in front of a camera, putting yourself out there, making predictions, and yet dropping that guard and just going ahead and doing it is what you're actually being asked to do in 2023, Cancer. This is where your focus should be. Like I said, this card is not about letting your guard down 100% if you are in the corporate, traditional type work world. There are still certain things you need to do. Obviously, you know, this isn't about dropping your guard and going out and getting drunk at a company function. Don't do that. Okay, again, disclosure, if that's your thing and that's what you want to do, go do it. But it's not recommended. It's frowned upon, okay? But if letting a little bit more of your own personality shine through could potentially be beneficial to your career. Okay. If you are a very creative person, okay, take this as the example. You're a very creative person, but the job that you have is a receptionist answering the phone for a big corporation. Okay. Let's say it's a big advertising corporation. You're caught up in your mind. Okay. You are not aspiring to be more. You're doubting yourself and doubting your talents. Okay. And you've got your guard up going, oh, I can't. And then something comes across your desk or someone comes into the office. And all of a sudden, on a whim, you blurt out something. I don't know. It's like a new jingle. And the person that's standing in front of you happens to be the CEO of a really big corporation. And they all of a sudden go, what did you just say? And you repeat what you just said. You let your guard down. You repeat what you just said. And they go, that's it. That's it. That's our next advertising campaign. Just as an example. Okay. That's the type of scenario that I'm coming up with, that these two cards are talking about for you, Cancer, with regards to money, job, work, career. Put yourself out there. Believe in yourself. Set your sights higher. The way that we progress as far as work, job, money, and career goes is that we have to set our sights higher. If we set the bar here, if we set the bar low, okay, difficult influences, comparison. Okay. Cancers, difficult influences. I just said that part of what's going on is you're caught up in your mind. There's a little bit of imposter syndrome going on. Where does imposter syndrome come from? It comes from comparing ourselves. Okay. Should bamboo compare itself to the oak tree? They're both trees, so they must be the same, right? Wrong. Do you see how ridiculous it is that bamboo would compare itself to an oak tree and then think that it is inferior in some way? They're not the same. And you, my Cancerian friends, are not the same as anybody else on the planet. But the more that you compare yourself to someone else, the more you're going to experience difficulties. That's why this card is coming up in your difficult influences. This is telling you, I am going to sneeze. My apologies for my funny faces. I was going to sneeze. Cancer, if you are comparing yourself to the other people in the office who don't have the same experiences as you, then what you're actually doing is you are devaluing yourself. Yeah, sure, someone else might have the experience of having gone to Harvard, but not all Harvard graduates are amazing in their field of what they do. Just because somebody went to university doesn't mean that they're better than somebody that went to a community college. Do you see what I'm saying? One of the things that I have on my website, this is what's coming up for me, Cancer. I'm going to share one of the things that I have on my website that I feel is really important. I work as a counselor, not just as a psychic doing tarot readings and so on. I am also a counselor. And one of the questions I ask my clients is this: who do you want helping you through some of the most difficult times of your life? Who do you want helping you when you lose a job, if you lose a child to miscarriage, if your marriage is falling apart and you're going through a difficult divorce? When you are going through these life-altering experiences, who do you want standing in your corner helping you? Somebody with a Harvard degree hanging on the wall who has absolutely zero life experiences? Or do you want somebody who's gone through that before? Somebody who really, really can get in touch with the feelings that you're feeling. So Cancer, when it comes to work, job, and career, if you are comparing yourself and putting yourself down because you don't have something that someone else has, look back in the mirror, because I'll bet you any money you have something that they don't have, and it's probably pretty damned important. All right, moving along. This makes sense. Solitude, silence, and peace prevails. Okay, again, earlier in your other readings, you had it come up that you are to get in touch with your intuition this year in 2023. You're to go within. This card is telling me that if you're considering making some changes with regards to your career, and I do believe that there are definitely some changes coming for you, I really think that there's going to be growth for you, Cancer, in 2023 with regards to work and career. But in order to be able to do that, you also have to find time and opportunity to spend time on your own to go within and really get clarity on what you want. Okay, going back to this card, setting your sights higher. In order to set your sights higher, what this is actually talking about is manifesting what you want, creating what you want in your mind before it actually comes to fruition in the physical world. But in order to do that, you do need to take time in solitude. Let's look at your unexpected insights. Unexpected insights is coming up as your isolation card. What are the chances from two different decks in the same spread for the same purposes you would get a card about isolation and a card about solitude? This is telling me, Cancer, that you do need to spend some time on your own this year, figuring things out for yourself. It makes sense because earlier you were told to get out of the mind. The mind is a really, really busy place. This will help you to get out of that. Okay. Spend time in some isolation, spend time in solitude. That's going to be really important with regards to work, job, and career. Overall outcome. What are the chances? Overall outcome. The oak tree, ancestors, going back to traditions, going back to doing things differently, but as well, the oak tree is a pillar. You have 2 cards that the oak tree is represented on in one spread, specifically related to money and job and work. This is an indication that you really are a pillar. You are strength when it comes to work, job, career. It is an indication that there's stability there because the oak tree is all about stability, but you do have a little bit of work to do with regards to releasing your imposter syndrome. That can be done through the isolation, through the solitude, and really, really set your sights on manifesting. Manifest what it is you want. It's probably going to be June, July before you reap some of the benefits of what it is that you're, if you're setting your sights higher with regards to this card and you're working towards manifesting, it's probably going to be June or July before you start to see some of that come into fruition, but it definitely will this year for you, Cancer. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, apologies for the scratchy voice and cold, but I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and definitely check back into this YouTube channel. I will be doing some more prediction videos in the coming future. Thank you.